Alright, ladies and gentlemen, ignore the fact that I'm looking like some sort of a wizard with this hood on, but this video is going to be full of value. So if you're watching this and you're looking to start an OFM and you're struggling with getting your first couple clients, or you don't know how to do it, if you have no case studies, no results, this video is for you. This is also a snippet, and this is one part of our mini course that we've redone. This is version 2 of the mini course. It's only £37. You can find a link for it down below. There is more in-depth coaching in the whole mini course. This is just one little part of the entire thing. It's only £37. It's the price of a fancy dinner. You might as well try it. All right, link down below. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy this video. All right, guys, so welcome to today's video. This is probably the question I get most frequently asked, of course, from beginner agency owners, which is, Marcus, how do I go about getting my first client on board? So when you're just starting out, that seems to be the biggest problem and the biggest hurdle for a lot of people, and actually getting their first model on their agency. So let's cover that in this video, in this lesson, in as much detail and as quickly as possible. All right, so let's just jump straight into it. So how do you go about getting your first model? All right, so getting your first client on your OnlyFans management agency. So overview is, most people think that this is the most difficult part of starting your OnlyFans management agency, yet this actually happens to be one of the easiest. Now, granted, when you're just starting out with no results, no testimonials, it might be more difficult, than when you have a lot of experience, knowledge, testimonials, case studies. But in this simple lesson, I will try and give you some simple steps and easy tips that you can take action from today to start going ahead and getting your first couple clients on board. All right. So let's just jump into it. So where should you start when you're looking to sign your first client? All right. So first of all, I want you guys to keep this in mind. So you must remember that getting your first model will be the most difficult than it will ever be, in your entire journey. I mean, put yourself in their position. She's most likely getting dozens of messages a week from other agencies looking to sign her on. And now you're trying to reach out to her to not only try and, her to see your message, but then to actually sign up with you, in comparison to all the other dozens of agencies that are reaching out to her every single day. She will compare you to the agencies that are reaching out to her. And of course, when you're just starting out, you won't have the case studies, the results, and the testimonials to showcase. So why should she sign up with you, right? So the point of this part, I quickly wanted to just get you guys thinking straight, right? Don't ever get like discouraged or, get your emotions in the way. If you've been doing outreach for a little while and you still can't get your first model, it's completely normal. Put yourself in their shoes. I mean, think about it logically. When you're just starting out and you have no results to showcase, and when you're speaking to them, you're not speaking from experience, it's less likely for them to sign up with you, alternatively to somebody like myself who's been doing it for quite some time. Anyway, but in this lesson, we're going to cover some simple ways you can go about getting your first few models on board. So the first one, and this is by far the easiest way, is someone you already know. All right. So let me break it down. And trust me, I know this is not just going to be some simple text on the screen. I'm going to give you a lot of context. So watch throughout this entire video. So someone you already know. Okay. So why is this the best way and the easiest way? Is because you need to understand, well, what actually is stopping most models from signing up with an agency, right? And typically it's like 3 things. They don't know, like, or trust you, right? They don't know you. They probably don't like you, and they don't trust you. Again, why the fuck should they? They don't know who you are. They've never met you before. They probably don't like you because there's a lot of bad stigma going around about other agencies, because a lot of people who aren't in our coaching program, or maybe they're in someone else's coaching program, or they're just trying it by themselves, they're going to fuck up and they're going to mess up. Then that girl has a bad experience with the agency. She speaks to her girlfriends, and her girlfriends speak to their girlfriends. And all of a sudden the word spreads that, oh, don't ever sign up with an OnlyFans management agency, that this and that, whatever, right? And she also doesn't trust you. Well, she definitely won't trust you because she doesn't know you, but then also you have no results and no case studies to leverage. So when you're just randomly trying to reach out to a completely cold lead, which again, we'll cover that in probably the next slide, why should she, right? You have nothing to showcase. You have no proof that you know what you're talking about. So when you're reaching out to somebody you already know, well, and when I say you already know, what do I mean by that? Is maybe perhaps like a girl from back in college or university, maybe a girl that you used to hang out with, whatever, just a girl that you in person you met before. It could even be at a bar, it can be at a nightclub, whatever. Because these girls you've already met in person, they should already know, like, and trust you. You see where I'm going with this, right? And the 3 big hurdles are already, you already overcome these 3 big hurdles just because you met them in real life. And it's going to be a lot easier to have that conversation, get them to start with your agency, and then you kind of see where it goes from there, all right? Now, in this instance, like there's pros and cons of everything. So the pro is that you can easily get a model to sign up with you and start working with yourself. The con is most of the time, I mean, depending on you watching this, unless you're like some mad OF pimp, you probably won't know a lot of girls who are already doing OnlyFans, right? The majority of you won't. So therefore, you'll probably be speaking with girls who aren't on OnlyFans yet. Like I said, they may be just your friends from university, college, a girl from the bar that you met, whatever. So therefore, you're probably going to try to get them on OnlyFans to start from 0. Now, there isn't necessarily nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of people that do that. But just keep in mind that most likely there is a high chance of them signing up with you, doing it maybe for a month or 2, and then maybe having change of heart and she doesn't want to do it anymore, and then you've basically kind of wasted a month or 2, right? Now, I wouldn't look at it as a waste, because even if this is the worst case scenario, by the way. That's the worst case. The best case is she signs up and she works with you for 6, 7 months, a year, whatever, and you guys make a lot of money. But the worst case scenario, she leaves after a month or 2. But I mean, look, you've still now got a bunch of experience, you've learned a lot, and you can ask her for a testimonial, you have a case study, you can take screenshots of the results, of the earnings, of the graph going up, and now you can publish these on social media. Now, obviously, if she wants to stay low-key, then obviously you won't tag her or anything, but you now have like actual results and actual case studies that you can leverage for your future cause. One more thing to mention about this is another little bonus that we teach in the higher advanced program. Again, if you're interested in the advanced coaching program and our inner circle, there should be a link somewhere around here to book a call. But anyway, one more thing that I should get you guys to at least try out. If you're a guy watching this and you cannot think of a single girl from college, university, whatever, who'd be interested or is already doing OnlyFans, then switch and think about some guys that you know who are these guys who are going out always clubbing, getting bottle shows and hooking up with a bunch of girls. I guarantee you must know at least 1 or 2 guys like this that you could message, explain what you got going on, that you're looking for models to bring onto your own OF agency. And every girl that he brings to you, you pay him a commission, as long as she signs up, of course. All right. So that's another huge tip. Guarantee you that will work. Yeah, 100%. Cool. Next one. Next one is obviously your typical normal outreach. Now, what do I mean by that? So this would obviously be finding a OF model, maybe perhaps on Instagram, Twitter, and just simply reaching out to them. All right. Now, the thing which is obviously common sense. I'm not going to fucking bore you guys and talk about like the bullshit, like the normal, the things that you already know, like common sense, right? Let me try and give you guys some advice on kind of the traditional outreach. So a couple of things. So first of all, think of it like a funnel in terms of how many, like where does the girl's attention per day go, all right? So at the top of the funnel is where like she just doesn't see, she doesn't see it because there's so much of it, and I'll explain that in a second, what do I mean? And at the bottom of the funnel is like she only every now and then she gets like a notification here and she looks at these. So let me explain and give you guys a practical example. So the top of the funnel would be like a like on her photo on Instagram, a comment, even an Instagram DM. The Instagram DM would be like in the middle of the funnel, really. But like these notifications that she gets every single fucking day, like a retweet, a favorite on her tweet or whatever, you know, these notifications she gets all the fucking time. Then the middle of the funnel might be like a Twitter DM, an Instagram DM, but she still gets fucking lots of them. Now, the bottom of the funnel would be things like an email address or an email, right? So maybe she doesn't get that many emails. It could also, like if you maybe know of her friend or some sort, you could ask your friend to create a group chat on WhatsApp, for example. Again, that would be like an easy way because she probably doesn't get that many WhatsApp messages or text group chats. Again, as long as you obviously know one of her friends or so on. Or another one, which I will leave you guys with this, there are so many, but another one I can give you guys is an Instagram story mention, all right? So this is something that I've been talking about for so long, nobody else is talking about it. So this girl, on average, let's just say she gets like 1,000 likes a day on her posts on Instagram, she gets like 200 comments, and she gets like 15, 20 DMs a day, right? However, how many times does she get featured or mentioned in an Instagram story? And I'm sure you guys, you know, if you go in the newsfeed on your Instagram, at the top, it will say like a little circle and you've been featured in somebody's Instagram story. That notification there is very rare. Most girls don't get that. right? And most people in general don't get that. So whenever she's featured on a Instagram story, she's way more likely to actually tap on it, open up the story, and then that's where you can do whatever you want, right? Obviously in the advanced program, we teach you exactly what to say, how to say it, but let your imagination think for yourself. What can you put on that story? Because she's going to watch that story. What can you say or do or text, type on that story that will grab her attention enough to reply to you and for you to book a call with her? All right. Awesome. Now, the third one is from another agency. So what do I mean by that? So especially when you're starting out, this might be like the most difficult one, hence why it's like one of the last ones. But what do I mean by from another agency? Eventually, once you start networking with other people, again, this is why I really am proud of the community that we're building. So we have about 350 odd members in our paid community. They're all serious entrepreneurs who are building their agencies all around the world. They have multiple, like dozens and dozens of models. And a lot of the times they might get a model that comes in for them and they don't want to work with them, so they might exchange that model and pass her on to a different agency, and they might take a cut, whatever sort, right? Now, and this is something that we do in our inner circle as well. So we get about 5 to 10 DMs every single day from models who are looking to work with us. We have a very, very high criteria on who we take on ourselves and who we don't. Most of the models that reach out to us, like our inbound, they don't hit the criteria because they're just starting out. Obviously, nothing wrong with that, but for us, it's just not worth our time to manage it and put the effort into it. So what we do is we essentially partner those girls with our students. So for you guys, if you invest into our program and you're in Inner Circle, you can simply get partnered with a model straight away. So this could be another one. Reach out to perhaps other agencies. So when you're starting out, it's very unlikely that another agency will just give you a model and partner her with you. But in our Inner Circle, that happens fairly often, all right? So, and then lastly, I wanted to give you guys some extra bit of value here as well. So here's some advice and practical steps you can implement also. So these are if you've done all the things that I just told you. So girls you already know of, normal outreach, and then maybe from other agencies, and nothing's really working. If you've been doing it for more than 4 weeks, then try one of these, all right? And really, like, honestly, most people in our inner circle, they don't ever do any of these. But if you're really struggling and you really just want to get started and you just want to get a couple of clients on board to start building your case studies and your portfolio, try some of these. So the first one is offer lower percentages. So if you are getting to the stage where you're jumping on a Zoom call with a model, so you're reaching out, she answers the message, you book a call, and she shows up on a call, and you've done more than like 5 Zoom calls, and you still haven't got a client, well, there's probably something going wrong. I can't identify exactly what it is because everybody's watching here. You guys will be at different stages. You have different things going on. But one of the things for sure that will make the model more likely to sign up with you is if she has a favorable percentage in comparison to other agencies. So this is kind of like undercutting other agencies. This is why I don't recommend it to most people. But again, if you're really, really struggling, this is something that you can try out. So for example, instead of trying to do a 60-40 split, so 60 for you, 40 for the model, try and flip it. You take 40, she takes 60, you take 30, she takes 70. You guys get the fucking point, all right? This is something you can negotiate on the call itself. So I would not do a call and then you end the Zoom call. Let's just say you tried to close her for 50-50. I wouldn't just end the Zoom call and then message her afterwards. Try and negotiate it on the call because you want to sign a deal there and then. All right. Another one is offer 1 month free trial. Again, this is if you're really down bad and you're trying your hardest and you just can't seem to get a model on board. If you offer a 1 month free trial, there is no loss in the model's end. You're only going to save her time and make her more money. All right. Now, the worst case scenario from this is that you work with this model for a month and she just ghosts you and she leaves and she doesn't want to work with you anymore. That's the worst case scenario. But still, even if that does happen, which is going to be very unlikely because it's very easy for you to increase her earnings, right? But even if that does happen somehow, well, again, you still have a lot of experience now. You now have some case studies that you can take screenshots of the results, of the earnings, and now you can speak from experience, right? And that's the most important thing. But best case scenario, you do this 1 month, you're obviously going to increase the earnings. Like I said, it's really not that difficult. And then she's going to be more likely to carry on working with you. And then from there on, boom, you have your first client, all right? And then lastly, offer free coaching calls / strategy breakdowns for content. So this is more when you're looking to build a brand and you're looking to get some content on your Instagram, for example, on your website, maybe your blogs, whatever. This is more advanced. And when you're just starting out, I really wouldn't recommend this because 1, it just takes time. And 2, in order to do these breakdown calls and strategy sessions, you must know what the fuck you're talking about because you're trying to give them advice, right? And if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, it's just a waste of everyone's time. But if you've been doing OF for, I don't know, two, three months at least, and you've been watching my YouTube videos, you've been watching his Loom videos, and you have some experience already, offer some free Zoom calls with a model. Let them know, obviously, ahead of time that you are going to record the Zoom call and you are going to cut it up and put it on social media. As long as she's happy with that and she consents, boom, jump on a Zoom call, give her like 30 minutes to an hour where you break down all of our marketing, what she's doing on OF, give her some pointers, some advice. Now, all of a sudden, you've ended the call. That model will most likely become a client of yours as well, because you've helped her so much for free. So she's thinking, how is it going to be if I sign up with this guy? You know, how much more can I make, and how much more can he help me if I sign up with this agency? And again, worst case scenario, she doesn't sign up. But again, you've got like 30 minutes worth of content now you can repurpose on social media. If you put it on your Instagram, another model sees your content, she's going to be amazed, thinking, wow, this guy is so smart. I'm really interested. Let me message him. Guys, simple as that. So take these steps and implement them and stick with it consistently for at least 4 weeks, and you'll sign your first client. It's just consistency, and stay persistent with it, guys. All right. So hopefully you guys got quite a bit of value from it. I really hope you guys come back to Instagram or wherever you guys found this video and let me know in the comments or in my DMs, was this really valuable? Because I love to keep doing these. And yeah, hopefully you guys implement these steps, get your first couple clients, and then book a call with us down below as well and join our inner circle, because there is no other place like our community. Guys, I'll see you in the inner circle. Say go.